Hello to you, Emanuel Shahaf.
Good to be here.
Great to have you with us. If you could share, as part of your new coming book, your vision about New Israel, how would you visualize it?
How to visualize it? It'll be a different country. It'll be a better country. It'll be a country which will have everybody join together in one endeavor to make this country what it really can be. Right now, we are concentrating on the Jewish community more than on the whole country, and a new Israel has to rectify that. It should have been done earlier, but now, as a result of the new nation-state law, it has become an imperative. We will not be able to continue to exist as a Jewish state if we do not make it inclusive and in this way make it a new Israel, and in my view actually make it into what it was supposed to be from the beginning.
Which means, practically?
Practically it means that it will be a state of all citizens. That would be the implication, and you can certainly ask, what else could it be of, if not of all its citizens? But there is a misconception that has been maintained here for a very long time, that a state of all citizens is something that we must avoid under all circumstances, to make this a Jewish state primarily. And we have now we have hit a hard spot, because by legislating the nation-state law, we have actually taken care to exclude non-Jewish communities, and that we cannot continue to do.
So it means that it's going to be the states of the Jews and the Arabs?
Yes, that's exactly what it means. It'll be the states of all the people who live here, all citizens of Israel who are Jews, Arabs, Druze, Cherkessim, and other nationalities. Everybody who is here and has citizenship, he will be. That will be his country.
A full member of this.
A full member of this country. Yes.
And it means, according to this vision, that maybe in 10 years or 20 years or 100 years, the prime minister of this state would be Jew, would be Arab, would be whomever the citizens are selecting and electing.
Sure, absolutely. If anybody who can get a majority, he can be prime minister or president or whatever. So there's no limitation, and there should be no limitation in a democratic state.
And from your perspective, is it something that you're not afraid, forgive me for the direct answer, a question, that the whole way of Jewish being of this place is going to be remotely changed?
I don't think so. I think if anything, it will be stronger, because when we do this in a position of strength, not of weakness. We do it because it's actually the Jewish way to do it, because according to our ancient texts and our beliefs, the country has to be equitable, and we have to do good also to those who are not Jewish, and by making a state of all citizens, that's exactly what we're doing.
So you're talking about practically sort of confederation that is going to be held here in Israel?
It would not be a confederation, because a confederation implies two states, but what we have in mind is a federation, actually, a one-state scenario, where the whole country would be divided into 30 cantons, 20 of them Jewish majority, 10 of them Palestinian majority, and one central federal government. Gaza wouldn't be part of this, but we're not talking about a permanent solution or a permanent settlement for this for the time being. We're talking about moving this whole conflict to another level, basically deconflicting it. And
how do you think it would end the conflict?
Well, first of all, it would make living together in an equitable way much, much easier.
Why?
Because there would be an end to the occupation. All citizens would be equal under the law, and there would be a lot of economic opportunity. The fact that all the land will be accessible to everybody, and there will be free movement, and there will not be an ongoing conflict at all times, will make it possible to have a lot better economic development in Israel and also with our neighboring countries.
So you're saying that Judea and Samaria are going to be part of this Israel? They're going
Absolutely.
to be kind of cantons?
Absolutely, absolutely. Judea and Samaria will be part of the state of Israel, as they are de facto now. The fact that they are under occupation is something which is objectionable and problematic, both for the population, for the Palestinian population in the West Bank, and also for Israel from the viewpoint of the international community. So, in order to deal with this, not only in order to deal with this, but as a concept, we have to make a radical change, and that would be it.
From your perspective, in order to make it happen, these visions of yours, is it something that is workable? When you think that at the end of the day, people will elect finalizing the occupation and creating this canton way of living?
I think certainly yes. The main issue is that people are not exposed to the different opportunities and different alternatives. Right now, there's a concept that there's only two possibilities: the two-state solution and a one-state binational state, which is considered to be very, very problematic. And no alternatives are being put to the people. And by putting a federation on the table and explaining it and showing people examples all over the world, there are almost 30 countries in the world which are run as federations, and more than 40% of the world's population lives in federations. So when people will see this, they will realize that this is an opportunity. What will also help is that it is an approach which requires really very little change in terms of what happens to the population on the ground. Nobody will have to move anywhere. There won't be a withdrawal. There will not be a population exchange or movement. There won't be any walls put up. Everything will be as it was before, just a lot easier, a lot better, and with a lot more vision and long-term potential.
And from your perspective, I'm asking you as a former person that also today is serving his country, but as a person that served his country as a member in the Israeli Mossad, when you see that maybe there's going to be a parliament, and the head of the parliament, and the president, and the prime ministers that are Arab Israelis, because in 50 years from now they are going to be the majority here. If someone can predict something here in the Middle East, isn't that a situation that worries you?
No, actually, I see this as an opportunity. We know that pluralism is definitely one of the driving forces of invention, and we're a startup nation. And the more we expand on this pluralism, also politically, we will gain as a Jewish country and as an Israeli nation. And I'm not worried about it and concerned about it at all. The fact is that it's the only way. Any other way would be meaning we would turn inside. We would become a shtetl with an air force, and the only way that we can continue to become or to maintain our drive as a outward-looking country is by including all those who are living in Israel. And it's fine if an Arab citizen of Israel can convince enough Jews to vote for him to become prime minister. What can be wrong with that? It means that person has the capability and the ability for all to see to run the country. So I have no problem with that.
And if he is good enough in order to convince the majority of Arab people that are going to be living here to vote for him, and then there are going to be a major turnover in the way that this country is being handled and seen and managed, and then the Jewish people are becoming a small minority here, and therefore they are not calling the final shots. Is that a situation that you are happy with?
No. First of all, I don't think this is going to happen. First of all, the demographics, which are very difficult to predict anyway, and whoever says, I can tell you 25 years from now what's going to happen, if you look back, they all were all wrong, okay? And this is the same way. What we have to do, first of all, the Jewish majority in the state of Israel will be maintained for generations to come, and there's no way that will change in a major in any major way. What we have to make sure that when it happens, and if it happens, and it by no means is for sure that it'll happen, that it won't make any difference to anybody anymore. That by that time people will be happy enough with each other and will have gotten used to each other and will understand that they benefit from each other, that there's no way and no reason to call this a change or a turnover and make this in something to be worried about.
So in a sense of like getting back to the old sense of the tent of Abraham, that the family and the brothers then were living happily in that same tent.
Yes. It's exactly that. It's actually there's a friend out there who calls this the Abrahamic Federation. Okay, and this is what it would be. I mean, one of the reasons that we're having such a big conflict is that we're actually very close to each other, and and one thing in which we're really united, in the love of the state of Israel. Okay, and the love of the land of Israel. If you call it Israel, land of Israel, you call it Palestine, it doesn't make a difference. We are both peoples are love this country, and people don't want to give up on this country, and they are willing to fight for this country, and that's why we have to share this country. And the best way to share this country is, in my view, at this time in a federation, because any other way is going to be a lot more problematic, definitely in the long run.
Emanuel Shahaf, as part of launching the new book, talking about your vision and your ideas for New Israel, I want to thank you so much for joining ContentoNow TV.
My pleasure. Thank you.